What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip and welcome back to another video. So, Kamen Rider Gavv has already started, and let me tell you, this first episode of Gavv, way better than the first episode of Gotchard. So, looking back, a year ago, so Gotchard, well, the story, the writing, the acting, everything was mid, to say the least. Not bad, but mid. However, Hidekazu Chinen's acting, the story in general for the first episode, it's definitely much better. At least how I saw it, right? So I'm gonna review the first episode without spoiling so much because right off the bat, like, we have a lot of exposition. Like, the first episode alone, it already shows us a lot of information that, it kind of signals to us what we could expect with Kamen Rider Gavv in the future episodes, especially with Shoma's character, because, well, he is the main character and he's the focal point in all of this. So it's definitely important to take note of, Shoma from the very beginning. Now, it's been already established even before the start of Kamen Rider Gavv. So this is not going to be a spoiler. Again, it's already been revealed way before. So he also confirms it in episode 1 that Shoma himself is a granute. So it's no surprise there. He comes from another world, which is the world where the granute come from. However, so the opening scenes of the first episode are interesting. So this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm just gonna give you, what happens first. So we see Shoma running away from some people who are chasing him, which are so these characters are called agents. So the agents are, you can say they're the foot soldiers working for the Stomach Company, working for the Stomach Clan, right? So Shoma is running away from these guys, and he happens to stumble upon a portal that brings him into our world, right? So despite being a granute, and, well, obviously he visits, or he comes to our world for the first time, he talks about it like he is familiar with our world, and it's because of someone he knew, someone very close to him. Well, who is that person? Well, I'm not gonna spoil, but he does mention it in the episode. So, despite being a granute and coming from, again, the granute dimension, or whatever you would call it, like, he seems to be familiar, or he has heard about, like, our world before, right? So what happens is, like, you probably have seen in, like, previews that he falls from the sky, and, like, Kamen Rider Agito, so a boy finds him on the beach. So we established that Shoma isn't human when, like, he almost gets isekai'd. Well, actually, he got reverse isekai'd, but yeah, this scene alone with the boy shows that he isn't human, right? So we also get our first granute, so the Hound Granute. So he does target this boy who saves Shoma. So the boy's name is Hajime. So thanks to Hajime, so, well, of course, he obviously sees that Shoma is not from our world. So as a reward for basically helping him, so Hajime takes, Shoma to his, like, secret base, and this is where Shoma discovers human snacks. And the first thing that he eats would be the gummy candy that would later provide him the power to become Kamen Rider Gavv in his popping gumi form. And speaking of Kamen Rider Gavv popping gumi, so apparently, so the official Kamen Rider, website. So for the specs of Kamen Rider Gavv, so usually, or actually, like always, ever since like the Heisei era, so the stats for the Kamen Riders, like power levels, you could say, are already revealed. And what is surprising about it is that Kamen Rider Gavv in his like Poppin Gumi form, so his punching stat is 1 ton. His kicking power is 2 tons. To put that into perspective, he's basically on the same level as the following: Kamen Rider Kuga growing form, Kamen Rider Den-O platform, and basically every Geats rider in their initial state. So before they use any of their buckles. He's on that same level, and that's already his form. Apparently, the website says that the suit does not provide power, but it simply changes Shoma's appearance. Meaning that the stats that I've mentioned, the punching power, the kicking power, those are stats that Shoma, even in his civilian form, can pull off. He is already more powerful than a normal human being, being able to pull off like a ton, right? To put that into another perspective, if I were to punch this wall behind me, even a ton of force would be enough to break a hole, or at least to put a very big dent on it. Okay? Now, interestingly, his kicking power 2 tons is actually 1 point lower than Kuga growing form or Den-O platform. Imagine that. And that's already the signature popping gumi form, right? So, anyways, so Shoma transforms into Kamen Rider Gavv, defeats the Hound Granute, and he saves the day. So, he ends up, well, somehow, I guess, what's interesting is using the power of the Gochizo and the Henshin Belt Gavv. So, he sees a guy riding a motorbike like, hey, I want one too. So he uses one of his gochizos, the Vrokan gochizo, which earlier he used like to summon quite a big ATV. So the ATV is a completely CGI vehicle, but he has a more like civilian motorbike that he summons through the Vrokan gummy. So he so so as he's riding that new motorbike, so the credits roll, right? And the credits instantly reveal Shoma's true identity. Now, I'm not gonna talk about it yet so that you don't get spoiled, but I will get to that in a future video. I want to talk about it in more detail because, my god, like, it's just mind-blowing how they instantly reveal something that should be, in my opinion, would be reserved for like a later arc. At least somewhere halfway in the show, we learn that Shoma is like this or that, right? At least we already established that Shoma isn't a human being, but I've seen a picture somewhere where there is a leak, and there is a picture showing Shoma's name as Shoma Inoue, but that is probably something that he would use as his Earth name. So considering that the name Shoma is, well, existent in Japanese, so I guess he just needed a surname to go with that so that he can blend in with society even better, right? So that's not a spoiler, but I guess from episode 2 onwards, he's going to use the name Shoma Inoue as his like alter ego. But again, the credits for episode 1, right? The end credits already reveal who Shoma is. So that's all I could say really. So again, all I want to say for now. So Kamen Rider Gavv, much better, much more exciting, much more intense than Gotchard episode 1. And with that, I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Not exactly the perfect episode. Well, sure, we see like the, so establishing elements of the episode. Uh, we get to see the main villains next week, and well, we also get an introduction to the two other main characters of this show, which are Hanto, who would later become Kamen Rider Valen anyway, and Sachika, so who would kind of play as, or at least, so she's the one who's going to give Shoma at least a home base, somewhere where he can stay, and she's going to be quite an important character for this show. Will she become a Kamen Rider? Hopefully. Is it necessary? Like, I don't think that's the case, but another female writer is welcome. Maybe she's a tertiary writer if she does become that, but who knows what could happen. And in general, I am definitely excited to see what Gavv, can bring to the table for this season. Definitely, there's something new and fresh about Kamen Rider Gavv, and oh boy, I can't wait to see more. So, what do you think of Kamen Rider Gavv? Have you seen the first episode already? So, if you did, leave your own opinions in the comment section below. As much as possible, because this is quite early in the show. Don't spoil anything about episode 1 yet, just for the sake of those who haven't seen it. Like, tell me what you like about it. Tell me if you did like the first episode or not, and if you think Gavv is going to be good, like, consistently going forward. Like, I'm gonna expect some lows, or I'm not gonna expect Gavv to be like a perfect show so that I don't disappoint myself. Like, I'm not gonna hype myself too much. But definitely this first episode is an important factor in determining whether, the show is going to be good or not, But again, like, I'm not gonna expect the same quality each and every time. There are definitely going to be some slow episodes that are gonna be less exciting, or less impactful. Like, expect those kinds of episodes, I guess. It's all part of the deal, right? So, but again, I'm looking forward to watching this series the whole year, at the very least. So, with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Juicy! So, I made a reference to the Kamen Rider Gumi commercials. They're doing that.